the system that was in place wasn't ready for that. You know what I mean? They weren't ready for that change. They was doing too much shady power. That's where all that slang comes from. That's where all that, them different kind of words or insinuations come from that generation when it comes to like politics and it's a dirty game. Yep. That's where all of that comes from, man. But it's like now, to me, it's like it's actually a good space to actually start trying to change stuff, because who don't want to help people now? Right. Like people use help as a promotional or marketing campaign too. You know what I mean? Some type of strategy. Yeah, exactly. So it's used as a strategy for some people. So it's like, that means the door is open for change and it's willing to be heard. And the funniest thing is this right here. The funniest thing is how something that you say so simple and so small-minded could be so shocking to somebody else. Yeah, that's baffles me. When I talk about the food desert to other people, they don't even know what it is. We live in a whole culture where like they don't know. They don't pay attention to
that.
They
just
no
think
clue.
that that's like the normal. Like that's normal for us not to have nice businesses down here. It's normal for us to have to drive miles away to get our food and make sure we get it home. They just think it's normal. I think also I think we've been programmed to feel that way.
Exactly.
So that's why no one really gets in a rush to change anything because it's like, it's always been that way. So what's the point of changing it
kind of
now?
To play devil's advocate, what about the people that would say, well, if they bring something down here,
they gonna
tear it up.
That's what they always say.
So how can we change our mindset on that?
I got a good concept. Like I said, something so simple. When they tore down Southwick and Carter homes and then put Park Duval over, everything changed. The crime rate went tremendously down. Yeah. So when you improve the atmosphere and the infrastructure of a place, it instills pride in those residents. It instills pride in those people. So
just the whole energy.
Yeah, it changes. Just automatically changes. Certain things you don't want to do. Yeah. Where you usually take that Faygo can and throw it on the ground.
Right, you be like,
hold on to that.
I ain't gonna be the one to mess this up. It ain't gonna be me.
Exactly. So it's like that. Like I said, something so simple can create a whole lot of change. It just has to be done, and those amendments have to get on the real floor. You know what I'm saying? And be voiced to the right people. They gonna support it too, because at the end of the day, the West End is one of the most historically richest places in the whole city. You know what I mean? So it's like, of course they wanted to like be different. I remember I had a conversation with a lady and I was asking her, well, how come it don't be new businesses coming down here? She was like, well, baby, the taxes, they have to pay taxes because of the crime rate. I looked at her and I was like, what? Because when I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, now if you're talking about crime and stealing and theft, I can see that at grocery stores. I can see that at the dollar store, the Family Dollars. But I'm talking about a formidable business here. Right. Nobody's even breaking into people's cars. No. You know what I'm saying? Every one of them buildings got a huge gated fence around it with some sickles at the top. Ain't nobody jumping at. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's bothering those people. So it's like, it baffles me to hear that. I understand the insurance rate because our car insurance is definitely higher. Yeah. All of our insurance, the house insurance, all of it's way higher than other places because of crime and violence. Yes. But at the end of the day, when it comes to those businesses that occupy the West End, I don't think nobody even knows how many businesses down there. It's a whole lot of business in the West End.
If you pay attention to it, there's a lot of people that just don't go to the West End for some reason. Like I'm from like where Clarksdale was. That's where I grew up at. But like we moved,
Dale.
CK, what up?
The Dale,
right? The Dale. But then we moved out to Fern Creek, and so like being out there amongst like other white people, they're like, I don't go downtown. I'm like, why not? Like I'm not going to be a stranger prisoner in my own city. Like that just don't make no sense. I'm going to go wherever I want to go, and I'm going to be fine because this is my city. Like mind your business. Like and also in their mind, they look at the news and see all the crime, and they think soon as they get off at like what is that 9th Street or something like that, they just think they're about to get shot.
Anything west of 9th is
they just think they gonna get
9th Street divide.
Yeah, and you literally can see it when you do go that way because it's like literally the gap was like we're building up downtown and we're just going to keep all of this the way that it is.
And I grew up in Village West in Phase 3, which was right behind Indy's. And I used to wonder, like, my mom would take us to 4th Street and we'll walk back or whatever. I used to be like, man, why in the world would the projects be right outside the city?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That looks terrible.
But you know what's crazy? What's so crazy is like DC is like that. Like the White House is like right in the middle of the hood. Like it's historical, and then you take 2 turns, it's like niggas. And you're like, oh shit. But you wouldn't think that because you'd be like, this is the White House, like the president stays here. Like, why would y'all put this right in the middle of it? They like, yeah, it's not gonna happen though. Because
y'all think that's kind of changing, like with all the money that's being gentrifying, like because you got thinking back in our grandparents' days, like that's where all the white people was in the West End, and then it kind of like changed. But now,
and Clarksdale's gone. So
all the hoods are coming down. Beecher Terrace is about to come down. And the one thing that I see, like I grew up in the East End and in Shelbyville. My whole family's from Shelbyville, so I kind of got a more country aspect of growing up. And then like my grandmother then moved to Louisville to like moving to Louisville was like moving to the big to like
city.
New York City. You know what I'm saying? For them coming from country ass Shelbyville, so
going to the big city.
when we was growing up in Westport Road, all Westport Road, it was kind of like a mix. You had black people, you had white people, you had Hispanics, so it was kind of like a good mix of all. But now I'm starting to I live in the neighborhood that I grew up in. Coldstream is, everybody thinks like the East End is like uppity, like
they do.
It's like, no, it's like going to any other neighborhood in Louisville, and you can kind of see. Like I've lived in my neighborhood for now 5 years next month, and you can kind of see there's more and more brown people, more and more brown people. So if there's more and more brown people, you start seeing more of a police presence.
Yeah.
You just see it. It's just changing. So I'm thinking like, okay, well they putting all this money in the West End. Is it gonna be turned back around to where the white people gonna start, going in the West End and then?
I feel like that's what's happening across the country, though, because that's been happening in Brooklyn. Like, I hear them talking about it all the time. Like, this is gentrified. Like, that's like, this is not the old Brooklyn that, people used to be afraid to go to, like, certain parts of New York, and now they just, like, we live here. Like, the white folks love it. Like, I love Brooklyn. You're like, really? Because Brooklyn's supposed to be, like, one of the hardest.
Yeah. Right. Harlem's a prime example of that, too.
That, too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching something about James Baldwin, and he was talking about how he had look when he grew up. Then he was talking about how it looked when he went back. And then I seen the State of the Union with Dick Gregory speaking one time. Man, he tripped me clean out, man. I honestly had all type of thoughts like, and I hate to say what I'm about to say. I used to say to myself, why didn't nobody shoot him? You know what I'm saying?
I have no idea why nobody shot Dick.
But Dick Gregory would say the same shit.
Smart,
like he would be like, they've been trying to kill me
for years,
and I won't die. I'm not going until God want me to go.
I remember one time he was talking about J. Edgar Hoover and how they had put out a thing like almost like eliminate him. So he got wind of it, and then he published it in the Chicago newspaper. I said, man, he's a super thug, bro. Like, that's hard. It got to protect your life. And then people don't know Dick Gregory had stupid money.
Man,
he had stupid cake.
Man, they spent every penny, like, on the movement. They was. I seen the Unsung on Dick Gregory, and they was like, his family was like, living, like they was poor because he was putting all his money into, like, for him to give his self, like, just to a whole movement is crazy. But with 321 podcast, it's your big homie DJ Z Nice, and I got my other homie,
your girl Red,
and my other homie Cold in the clutch,
Cold in the
motherfucking clutch.
Like how we feeling in for Z. You'll be back in a minute. I heard Z told me that you used to spit.
Yeah, I still spit.
You still
that bar game.
You can we get some bars?
I did a song that was actually on the 93.1 entitled "West End's the Best End." You know what I mean? And what I did was I flashed back to when I was little, and I pretty much broke down how it was in our culture growing up, and then how nothing has changed even to today.
Can we get a few bars out of it?
Here's some.
I said. Matter of fact, I got it on my phone. I even play it. You know what I mean? That way I don't have to do it. If y'all put a beat on, I'll freestyle. You know what I mean?
If I knew how to
I'd definitely do it.
Beat on what he got on this?
I was gonna say
I can get you a beat off my phone though. I can get you to get over.
You don't? Do you have your little piece?
It's in my purse.
That's all right.
I was just gonna put it up to the mic. It's my.
Well, matter of fact, let's just have him put in the song. He's the big homie. He's the one who puts all of it in.
Yeah, if you send him the song, he can.
That way
he'll plug it in. But I do want to freestyle though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go there. I think that'll be good. Can you freestyle off that?
Freestyle.
Well, come on.
Yeah, man, bar game.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
For a long time, been in my focus, man. Like the sun in the sky, I'm bound to shine. The clouds around me hazy, moving like I'm so daisy. Left eye, nah, mans ain't never been lazy. I listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony, don't like that crazy. But I come around here, they be looking at me like they shady. 945 or M, coming around looking grim like the Reaper. Stand in the pulpit just like the preacher. Go to the classrooms, occupied just like a teacher. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm bound to reach ya. I change perceptions quick, move like a dipstick, got oil on me, that means I'm slick. Told them I'm the gingerbread man, I run on top of the milk. They like Young Clack, you just a smooth nigga. You know I'm made of silk, yeah, my cloak's black. I throw it on your face, erase every trace. I'm done with that.
Hey.
Bars.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Bars.
Man, you would be surprised how people freeze up here when we
Man,
and drop bars.
so
man,
damn
like
I got something written.
Well,
I wrote something last night.
Change the beat. Change the beat.
No, I don't really like that one. I don't really like that one. Yep.
Well, won't you hit him with the top 5 though?
Since we went music, we can go music. Get me. Nope, I'm not even gonna do music. I ain't even gonna do music. I need your top 5 political influences.
Great question.
See how I do that?
Let's go. Of course, Malcolm X. That's numero uno probably. Then I have to say King right after him because I actually respect King's whole movement. Then I'll say James Baldwin because he's a hell of a writer. Then I'll say Langston Hughes because he was a great writer and as well as a political activist. 5, let me see.
Yeah, one more.
One more. Let me think. I can't use nobody that's alive right now. You know what I'm saying? Because like, not really.
Anybody from the city?
Anybody influence you locally?
Negative.
Well, hey.
Like negative. Like I will say this. I actually do like Sherry Hamilton. That's the lady I'm actually running against. I actually do like her because I call her the queen of the West End for real. So I really like her. And I love Miss Judy Green. I don't know if y'all remember her.
Yeah, I remember. I love Miss Judy Green.
That was one of the most realest people I ever met in my life. Ever. So I take that back. I give Miss Judy Green that 9.
Give that number 5.
Yeah,
That's
give her that 5 spot. Yes, she is.
Well, since we are on the music podcast, we took a week off. We got some stuff to catch up on.
Yeah, Grammys.
Grammys was ass. Man. I'm sorry. I was mad. I was not like. Shout out to Kendrick because he deserved every award that he went up against with Jay. He did deserve that because I needed to either be him or Jay. Either way, because both of their albums were like literally fighting for like number 1 best album last year. But what I didn't like was the new artist.
Yeah, SZA
should have got that because Alessia Cara came out in 2015.
That's what I heard.
I don't even know who the hell she is.
No, if you heard her song, like she had a popular song, but that was back in 2015. She should not have been in the category.
Old Navy song?
No, it's like it sounds like Over Here. If you heard it, you'll know exactly like
one of them songs you walk in the Old Navy and you hear it.
Exactly. Yeah. So SZA got janked on that one. Childish Gambino got I think 2.
That was a good performance.
It was a good performance
with that kid.
Very dope performance. But the performance I think is what saved the Grammys because other than that, like the awards that they passed out on was like because Bruno. And I had to catch myself. I love Bruno, and I love the album. But I was like, how is he still eating off this album? It came out at the end of 2016.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because since it came out so late, it had to be in this category for. Yeah, but
how y'all feel about Bruno? Like somebody was telling me. I forgot. I heard it on some other show where they was like, man, Bruno, he's winning. He ain't doing nothing but biting
Roger
Troutman and who was your boy with Prince?
I know
Morris Day at the time. Like he's just biting them, man, and just repackaging it.
The funny thing is when you think about that portion of music is unduplicatable for one thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But on top of that, he did a great job of duplicating that sound. So it's like that was a whole niche. So he occupied that niche, and everything that comes with that is gonna come with that. Yep. So it's like he was bound to eat off. That's a hell of a business plan.
Yeah, man.
Smart move. Smart move it out.